ultimately, in that job, you have to say no to a lot of issues, to a lot of people, and when you that's the price of leadership. When you say no, sometimes people don't like that. So I think it's a leadership issue, and Warde has had great experience. He's had great role models. He talked about Bo and Jim Harbaugh. So and he's been out on his own as an AD for 10 years, and that to me is where you learn that there's certain things from a leadership standpoint that you better be consistent and you better be clear, and I think he'll do that.
Lloyd, why is it important to have that athletic administration experience back in this office?
Well, I think it's very important because we've had a lot of business guys, and we are into a new era in intercollegiate athletics. This college football playoff, has changed things dramatically. The television networks, the Big Ten network's been hugely successful, which has generated a lot of money, which pays for our scholarships and all those things. But it still comes back to making sure that you have a guy or a woman in that position who understands what those athletes are going through. Our job as coaches, as athletic directors, are to make sure that we look out for the welfare of the student athletes, of doing everything we can to make sure that when they leave here, they have a degree, because that's the big deal.
So how do you expect Warde to really institute that or continue that stability?
He's going to have a team. He'll have, that's the other thing. You want to hire coaches who care about their athletes getting their degrees, and so it starts with the coach. It starts in recruiting. It starts in having a good relationship in admissions, so that if the admissions office thinks a guy can't compete academically, if he can't succeed academically, then we don't want to recruit him. We want to recruit people who have the potential to graduate, and because if all your athletes leave here with a degree, they've been really successful, regardless of how their careers turn out.
Well, how much has recruiting changed since you left the job?
It's a different world. It is truly. I think when Don Canham came to Michigan, that was the beginning of a new era. And 2 years ago, we started in a new era in intercollegiate athletics. So, and there's great things about that, but it puts a lot more pressure on the coaches and on the athletic directors to run programs where these kids behave themselves here on the campus, and where they go to class, and where they compete and behave themselves off the field. So, and some of those things were true of all of us, right. But it's just a different.
Seems like there's kind of a new set of rules that.
Well, there is. See, the NCAA has given the Big Five conferences the right to change almost, any rules they want, and so that's a dramatic change.
How involved were you with the search process, if at all? Did they consult you at all?
The search firm, as I understand it, talked to a number of people, and I was one of those. And I thought it was really a well-done search. I thought the search firm, the men who ran the search, did an excellent job of giving. I think the big thing was to make sure that President Schlissel felt comfortable that he knew the background. He talked about that in his press conference, that he needed to make a good decision, and he trusted his own judgment to make the decision, which I think is important.
But you sense that there's a level of stability now back in the program?
Well, I think, when you have the leaders of the football, basketball, softball, all those people seem really, they all know Ward. And, so I think he's going to be comfortable. We're going to have a good idea of what he believes in. And he's going to, he talked about helping the coaches. And I've always felt, the athletic director wants to be a guy who is doing everything he can to help the coach be successful, and he has expectations of the coaches in terms of the rules and the ethics and the way we do things.
Did you ever want to be an athletic director?
No. Well, there's an old Lawrence Peter, a business professor. He had what they call the Peter principle, and he says, don't be one of those people that rises to the level of their incompetence. So,
Lloyd, you should ask her how many athletic directors she's covered since she's been here.
a ton of them. Yeah.
What's your best Warde Manuel story from when he was a player?
Well, we played. I don't know what year Ward was in. I think he was a freshman or sophomore. It would have been the bowl game in Tampa where Bo had a heart attack. Gary Moore was the head coach. I know he was the head coach. And we get into this game. We're playing Alabama. We lead at the half 21-0, I think. They came out in the second half, and they had a great back, one of the 5 best backs I ever played and coached against, a kid named Bobby Humphries. We never stopped them, except one time in the second half. So they take the lead, and on the last play of the game, Demetrius throws a touchdown pass to win the game to Jamie. But after that game, I felt so bad for Ward because we had his backup got hurt, so Ward's out there playing against him. I think he was a first-team All-American, down after down, and you just wear out. I wanted to get him out of there, but I couldn't. But he fought right to the end, and it showed a lot about him.
As a young guy, did you see any kind of telltale signs of a guy who had certain attributes that could have a career like this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, from the beginning, when he stopped playing, then he started talking about, a master's degree, and then when he got his master's degree, he was talking about the PhD and all of it. He was going to class and continuing to work here and get experiences. And I think early on he knew this was something he'd like to do. And because he was here a long time, and I was surprised to hear that he's been an AD for 10 years. I knew he'd been at both places, but time slips away, when you get old, like me.